What is the most dangerous thing in the world?
The atomic bomb.
What about stupidity?
Isn't this a stupid question?
An atomic bomb is only dangerous if there is a stupid person who sets it off.
Stupid people like that never become presidents. Although,
if you look back at history, you will find plenty of stupid people who held positions of responsibility and caused terrible things.
That reminds me of the Nazis.
You are not the first person to say that. Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote a whole book about how stupid the Nazis were.
That must be a very long book.
Bonhoeffer articulates his thoughts with remarkable clarity.
Stupidity is a more dangerous enemy of the good than malice. One may protest against evil, it can be exposed and, if need be, prevented by use of force. Against stupidity, we are defenseless. Neither protests nor the use of force accomplish anything here. Reasons fall on deaf ears.
I can confirm that from my own experience.
The worst part is that stupidity has no purpose. A stupid person isn't aware of the consequences of their actions.
Having thus become a mindless tool, the stupid person will also be capable of any evil, and at the same time incapable of seeing that it is evil. This is where the danger of diabolical misuse lurks, for it is this that can once and for all destroy human beings.
I'm not sure if you can justify evil behavior by saying people are just stupid.
Bonhoeffer doesn't excuse it. He tries to understand it. He is not alone in this view either. Hannah Arendt provides the best analysis of the connection between stupidity and evil. She examines the problem using a very specific case in her book, Eichmann in Jerusalem. Adolf Eichmann was one of the main actors responsible for the Shoah. He organized the deportations that killed millions of Jews. In 1961, he was put on trial in Jerusalem. Hannah Arendt covered the trial and reported on it for The New Yorker. She was expecting to see a monster, but all she saw was just a very ordinary man.
In principle, he knew quite well what it was all about. He was not stupid. It was sheer thoughtlessness, something by no means identical with stupidity, that predisposed him to become one of the greatest criminals of that period.
So Eichmann wasn't stupid after all.
Hannah Arendt saw a man who was certainly capable of showing intelligence. But what is thoughtlessness, if not also a form of stupidity?
People probably have different opinions on that.
Let's start by trying to define what stupidity is.
Stupidity is basically when someone does something wrong.
That's a bit vague. There's an Italian historian who provides a definition. I'm talking about Carlo Cipolla and his book, The Basic Laws of Human Stupidity.
If you look back at history, you'll find many events that were the result of human stupidity. He certainly knows his stuff.
He identifies 5 fundamental laws of stupidity. 3 of these laws warn against stupid people. For example, Cipolla reckons that the destructive power of stupid people is always underestimated. It is a mistake to get involved with stupid people, and that can be costly.
A stupid person is the most dangerous type of person.
And how does he define stupidity?
He bases his argument on the effect that an action has. If an action causes harm, the direct effect is clear to everyone. But that's not all.
A stupid person is a person who causes losses to another person or to a group of persons, while himself deriving no gain and even possibly incurring losses.
So it's not stupid to cause harm to others if you benefit from it yourself?
That's mean or evil, but someone who acts in a Machiavellian way is not necessarily stupid because of it. Stupid people are a nuisance because nobody benefits from what they do, not even themselves.
But, for example, if you experiment, you might make mistakes and incur losses, just because you didn't know any better. If that's the case, it would be foolish to experiment at all.
Einstein said that anyone can make a mistake, but it's foolish to repeat the same mistake over and over again. So you can make a mistake once, but you learn from it.
In this way, you gain an advantage from your mistake, and so what you did wasn't stupid. Okay, Cipolla's definition holds up.
Cipolla claims that the number of stupid people is consistently underestimated.
Maybe we should make a list of them.
According to the second law of stupidity, that is impossible.
The probability that a certain person will be stupid is independent of any other characteristic of that person.
Basically, anyone can be stupid. It just depends on the situation. This also means that stupidity is unpredictable.
Non-stupid people always underestimate the damaging power of stupid individuals. In particular, non-stupid people constantly forget that at all times and places, and under any circumstances, to deal and associate with stupid people always turns out to be a costly mistake.
Cipolla was a historian who took an empirical approach. If you look at the history of kings, you can see illustrations of stupid behavior everywhere. There is certainly no shortage of examples.
Okay, we can't tell in advance whether someone is stupid. Maybe then we should try to help everyone become less stupid.
That's very difficult. David Dunning has worked on this problem. He and Kruger developed the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is named after them. According to their theory, stupid people always overestimate their own abilities. They know just enough to think they are right, but they don't know enough to realize they are wrong.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
But it gets much worse. Imagine a stupid person is arguing with an intelligent person about a topic. To outsiders who aren't experts on the subject, the stupid person seems to be right.
Why is that?
He comes across as more convincing because he's more confident. He doesn't realize that the topic is actually much more complicated. The intelligent person, on the other hand, knows about the complexity. He or she is a bit more uncertain and gives the impression of not being very sure about the topic. Others see this as weakness and ignorance, and the foolish person seems more competent.
That sounds familiar from politics. The loudest voices seem the most accurate and authoritative. The thoughtful ones come across as unsure.
And therefore, in the public sphere, it's not always the best argument that wins, but often just the greater determination.
The smart ones have lost.
An intelligent person can only win if they pretend in public to have a certainty in their reasoning that they do not actually possess.
This can be tough for someone who's intelligent.
Nietzsche wrote an aphorism on this topic.
In the struggle against stupidity, even the gentlest and mildest people eventually become brutal. They may well be on the right path of self-defense, for a clenched fist is, by right, the proper argument against the stupid forehead.
But that's pretty brutal.
Actually, Nietzsche wasn't that brutal. The aphorism isn't over yet.
But because, as I said, their character is gentle and weak, they suffer more from these means of self-defense than they inflict suffering.
Nietzsche recognized that evaluating the pros and cons can make intelligent people appear weak. This is why it can take at least 2 generations for a good idea to gain acceptance.
As long as one is fully aware of the strengths and weaknesses of one's doctrine, its power remains limited. The student who is blind to the doctrine's weaknesses therefore usually has more power than the master. Without blind disciples, a man and his work will never have great influence. Helping an idea to victory often means nothing more than aligning it with stupidity in such a way that the sheer weight of the latter forces victory for the former.
This is exactly what happened to Nietzsche himself. He was only understood and became famous after his death.
Intelligent people can only despair at stupidity.
There is at least one philosopher who has something positive to say about stupidity.
I'm curious, who is it?
Ludwig Wittgenstein.
The author of the Tractatus Logicus?
In his book, Culture and Value, Wittgenstein speaks positively about stupidity in several passages.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Our greatest acts of stupidity can be very wise. If people didn't sometimes do stupid things, nothing sensible would ever happen.
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
Wittgenstein wants to use stupidity as a tool for insight.
Always come down from the barren heights of cleverness into the green valleys of stupidity. The valleys of stupidity have more grass growing in them for the philosopher than do the barren heights of cleverness.
It's a way of getting people to think differently, like an experiment.
But then it's not stupid anymore. Because if you learn something from these experiments, you have an advantage. And that can be intelligent again.
Stupidity becomes a problem above all when someone takes responsibility for other people and then causes them harm. And, as Bertrand Russell observed, intelligent people often don't get trusted with responsibility.
The only people left with positive opinions are those who are too stupid to know when their opinions are absurd. Consequently, the world is ruled by fools, and the intelligent count for nothing in the councils of the nations.
Of course, there are always exceptions. It shows when someone is doing the right thing. Not everyone is blind all the time. But you should be suspicious when someone takes a position with great certainty and think they don't need to justify it.
If you have any thoughts on this, stupid or intelligent, please share them in the comments. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.